It is 4 p.m. on the nose on the 19th of August 2025. A very good afternoon to you wherever you're joining us from. It's time for Citizen Briefs. My name is Melita Oletenges. We begin with the latest. Now, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has begun investigating allegations that Parliament is being turned into a den of corruption. The agency says success will depend on the cooperation of parliamentary leadership, given the privileged nature of the House. EACC notes it has previously met with the speakers of both the National Assembly and Senate and will consult them again on how to embark on the probe.
The EACC is mandated constitutionally to deal with all matters to do with corruption. And so we do our investigations at whichever level. And we can only say that we are glad that the President has come out strongly on this particular matter, so that those people who may have been hiding behind politics, behind patronage, would then have nowhere to hide when we go for them. So we'll still continue doing the work that we are supposed to be doing in the way that we know how to, not just because the President has said, but because it is our mandate to do so. And we are actually doing active investigations on various individuals, and as and when that kind of information is available, we'll share with members of the public, or you'll see the consequences in the various levels of the legal system.
The public service unions within the healthcare sector are accusing the private insurance companies for allegedly jeopardizing quality service delivery in the country. Led by KMPDU Secretary General Dr. Davji Atela, the unions allege that a number of insurance companies are exploiting Kenyans while prioritizing profit, over patients. The unions have criticized the Ministry of Health for the slow pace in confirming universal health coverage (UHC) workers to permanent and pensionable terms, despite Parliament having allocated the necessary funds.
The biggest impediment to universal healthcare in this country are private insurance companies that have decided to get themselves into cocoon and dictate to the patients which hospitals to visit. They dictate to patients which doctors to see. They dictate to patients which lab tests to have, and they dictate to patients which drugs to be issued. And this was well demonstrated in what they did in Nairobi Hospital, where for the first time, we have seen insurance companies telling patients, don't go to this hospital.
The issue of UHC should be disposed of by now. The money is there, but we are seeing a lot of bureaucracy. Ministry of Health did not ask for that money. It is us, the unions and the UHC workers, who went on the streets and ensured that a budget is allocated of 606.2 billion to absorb UHC workers into permanent and pensionable terms.
We are here concerned that there seems to be deliberate delay. We were told that they needed to do verification. The head count was done, and I think several weeks ago. But we are not getting any clear way forward on when these health workers are going to be absorbed.
And to matters healthcare now, Dr. Richard Lesyampe has officially taken over leadership as the Chief Executive Officer of Kenyatta National Hospital. Handing over the mantle, Dr. Evanson Kamuri, who has served for 6 years, wished his successor all the best in steering the hospital forward, while emphasizing the importance of sustaining the highest standards of healthcare and treatment at the facility. Health Principal Secretary Dr. Ouma Oluga challenged Dr. Lesyampe to devise ways of ensuring that Kenyatta generates sufficient revenue to sustain its services, noting that the hospital's budget had been reduced by 3 billion shillings, leaving a gap that must be filled. Returning once again to the country's top referral hospital, Dr. Richard Lesyampe pledged to strengthen leadership and empower doctors and nurses to deliver better services to patients.
We have been with him for many years. He is not a new person. He was here some times back, and he's coming back. So I will only show you the new corridors we have created recently. But otherwise, the staffs are willing to receive you, and they are willing to support you.
Is to come back, not to do anything else, but just to provide the leadership to allow the employees and the staff of Kenyatta National Hospital to unleash their potential, to provide them an amicable and amiable environment.
We don't have much advice for him. We only have expectations. Expectations that we will move closer to the journey. This hospital has a lot of challenges. We have a lot of challenges to get, especially on the issues around budget. That is why issues about revenue are very important as part of the reforms. But even as we engage with our national treasury to look at how best do we sustain the facility, this year alone we had a budget cut of 3 billion. And so, Dr. Lesyampe, as you come in, the in-tray is full.
Now, Chief Justice Martha Koome today met a delegation from Zanzibar led by the Chief Qadi Hassan Athman in Mombasa, where he emphasized the need for Kenya and Zanzibar to strengthen collaboration and remain committed to the principles of justice, mercy and unity in Islam. The Chief Justice says the judiciary will partner with Zanzibar in sharing expertise and information on alternative dispute resolution and court automation. She pointed out that Kenya's Qadi courts are fully automated in line with other courts, a move that has improved case tracking and e-filing. This, she said, will help Zanzibar adopt similar systems to expedite family and succession cases. The Zanzibar delegation, who are this year's judges colloquium, the Zanzibar delegation who are in Kenya for this year's Judges Colloquium Conference to benchmark, welcome the partnership, noting that automation will greatly enhance access to justice and reduce case delays.
Kesi zetu tumepata pia mambo ya usuluhisho ya migogoro mbalimbali inayotokezea katika familia au jamii.
Allowing litigants unable to travel to access proceedings remotely. Litigants can also make inquiries through the Judiciary Call Center, which provides centralized support on Qadi court matters.
This approach has helped reduce case backlogs and has reaffirmed the central role of justice as a tool for healing. We look at justice as a tool for healing, because when you have a case, unasikia kama mgonjwa, si ndio? Ama umebeba mzigo. So hii kesi tukimaliza, there is healing, there is restoration, and there is harmony.
A man has pleaded guilty to charges of computer fraud in a case involving a fraudulent SIM swap scheme. The suspect confessed that he willfully procured the replacement of SIM card belonging to former Nairobi OCS Talam Samson Kiprotich by falsely pretending to be the rightful owner. Dennis Masavi Musimi admitted before the court that he illegally obtained line was later used to solicit money from members of the public for his personal gain. Musimi was charged alongside Amos Nzomo Kimanzi and James Mutemi Munyithia, who denied the charges and are set to face full trial. The three jointly faced a count of computer fraud contrary to Section 26 of the Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes for allegedly conspiring between 16th and 19th June 2025 to commit the offense. In addition to the joint charge, James Mutemi Munyithia faced a separate count of unlawful use of an identity card belonging to another person. Elsewhere, a prominent Eldoret businessman has been released on a bond of 500,000 shillings or a cash bail of 200,000 after denying 9 counts of land fraud. Hosea Kibet Ruto appeared before Chief Magistrate Dennis Mikoyan. He is accused of forging lease certificates with the intent to defraud and giving false information to police over the land fraud cases. Among the complainants is Ruth Nyambura, widow of the late lawyer Paul Gisheru, who says he was defrauded of a prime plot in West Indies. Ruto pleaded for lenient bail terms, citing ill health. The case will be mentioned on August 25th.
For subdivision of 14 plots from Obel Surveyor Company to DCI Nephew Stephen Jr. by purporting to be a genuine and approved by physical district plan surveyors from an area stroke 835 dated 13th of July 2015, purporting to be a genuine and valid document signed by land registrar. Is it not false?
We will be raising other issues because the property of the subject of this charge sheet is also a subject of litigation before the ELC court in the ELC case number E007 of 2025, where the complainants are the first and second respondents.
Before court number 3 on the 25th August for the specific purposes of prosecution supplying all the documents they intend to rely on and statements as well.
Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has launched a major crackdown on illegal alcohol in Murang'a County and ordered for the arrest of notorious distributor Peter Ndwati, alias Mike Power, who allegedly escaped during a raid on some of his outlets last night. The CS also announced that the security agencies, through targeted intelligence, are on high alert on rising number of criminal and political gangs and warned those behind the groups that they will not be spared. He scoffed at the much-hyped expected return of former DP Rigathi Gachagua from the US, stressing that no one is above the law.
In the last few months or weeks when he has not been around, the country has been very peaceful. And so you have a point by saying that perhaps the security agencies should be prepared for a more chaotic environment as a result of his coming back to the country. Let me say that the security sector is prepared to deal with any insecurity issues. The last time he was around and there were so many goons in the term of protests, we were very prepared. And every other minute the National Police Service is prepared to protect citizens and their property. We, of course, are aware of those elements of threatening disruptions, threatening football, threatening all these other issues. I need to say that we will take legal action against anybody who is going to break law.
Mukutani, a village in Baringo South, once scarred by banditry, is now rewriting its story. Once branded a ghost village, is steadily rising from tragedy, with hundreds of villagers who had been displaced streaming back and engaging in farming and renewed community solidarity. Here now is that story.
From fear and silence, life is returning to Mukutani village. Streams are flowing, farms are thriving, and families are harvesting again. The once deserted village is now once again giving bumper harvest, not only to feed families, but also to supply the market.
Kwa saizi ukikuta kama jamii Elchamus wanalima nyanya kabisa. Na sisi upande wa Tugen bado tunangangana, tunaanza na mahindi. Na vitu zingine zinafuata. Pamoja na jamii ya Pokot tunajua walikuwa wamefuata mifugo sana, lakini saizi wameona umuhimu kwa kwanza na chakula.
Irrigation schemes have been established, turning idle land into fertile farms.
Na kwa sababu wamerudi juzi kwa mashamba yao, na tumekubaliana kwamba tuishi kwa amani. Na kwa sababu tunawachana na mambo hii ya uwizi, sasa tunaenda laini ya kupatilisha maisha.
Na baada ya kusikizana tukaanza kwenda shamba pamoja. Kulima, tunaenda huko juu kulima pamoja. Yeye sababu mimi niko na uoga, yeye anachunga mpaka baadaye kesho nikuje. Alafu tunasaidiana wakati ya kutoa hiyo mahindi tunagawa, yeye anapeleka singine kwake, mimi nabaki na singine. Hiyo kazi ilitusaidia mpaka saa hii. Hiyo umoja hiyo.
From a village once synonymous with fear, tragedy and burnt homes, Mukutani today stands as a symbol of resilience. A community once defined by sorrow is now transforming into a valley of peace and renewed hope. Abdi Samed Mahmoud, Citizen TV.
Powerful story by Abdisamed Mahmood, and of course, may peace prevail in Mukutani, Baringo County. Moving on, the Tourism Regulatory Authority TRA has launched a crackdown on unregulated tour vans operating along the Ewaso-Nyiro Sekenani Road in Narok County, following mounting concerns from tourism stakeholders over non-compliance in the sector. According to Kennedy Kaunda, the CEO of the East Africa Tour Guides Association, the rise of untrained and unlicensed tour guides has compromised the integrity of Kenya's tourism industry and called for heavy penalties on firms flouting regulations. Tour drivers have welcomed the crackdown, terming it necessary for the safety of their clients and the reputation of the industry.
They have been duped to their money by one operator, and I've forwarded the name to TRA. I'm hoping they are going to act very soon, because
good operation that TRA are doing now, that it's a good operation. I just urge our colleagues, other drivers who don't have the TRA compliance to go for it. It's a good, it's good to have it, yeah, for your safety and the safety of the client.
Hapa kenye kinafanyika hapa ni wako na crackdown ya TRA, Tourism Regulatory Authority. Kuna watu wenye wasi genuine wanafanya hii kazi ya tourism, so ndio wanajaribu kuona kama kila mtu ako genuine kufanya hii kazi, kwa sababu kuna watu wanaingilia kazi yenye si yao. Sana kenye nataka kuomba saa hii hata serikali ijue ni tourism si kitu ya kawaida. Wageni ni kama mayai. Wageni wenye tunabeba ni kuwatuza, na unajua sasa ukienda utreat mgeni vizuri atarudi Kenya na atalete wengi.
All right, and that's the latest from our newsroom at this hour. Many thanks for joining us and staying with us. My name is Melita Oletenges. More news updates coming your way at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Good afternoon.